Hi, I'm Susan, and this is my daughter Bernice. We live in Pretoria in South Africa, and for lockdown, we have been together in our house. We both work from home. It is a new season for me to work from home, but my business will start now and it will continue like that. And Bernice is an artist that also works from home. So we've been in lockdown since the 23rd of March, and we've really tried to keep to those rules. So we've actually stayed in our house and just went out to do the critical things like buying groceries once every 2 or 3 weeks and try and stretch that as far as possible.
Yeah. I'm an artist, a fine artist. So, and I studied dramatic arts. So for us, it's quite difficult because our sector is considered the last to open. And considering the economic situation right now, I mean, it's never been great for artists in Africa because people will rather buy bread than a ticket. So, things are a bit difficult, and especially now because now nobody's going to buy something that's not necessary. So I think we're all feeling a lot of pressure. The two of us went to a market today, a flea market that we normally attend. And it was interesting to see everyone in their masks, certain personalized masks, and everybody's trying to keep a strong face on it. But you can see that there isn't much business going on that isn't absolutely necessary. People are saving up because people are unsure. And I think, I'm a group of people that's been hit quite hard as a smoker with the tobacco ban, the sale of tobacco is banned. And that's, I suppose for some people it was a breakthrough. They needed to quit smoking. But for many people who suffer from mental illness and even who don't, people who use it as an emotional or psychological crutch, it feels a bit like she's left the cripples without their walking sticks. Mm-hmm. It feels, it's difficult, but I think it is everywhere.
Yes, so for us, that is one of the challenges that Bernice had to deal with. Luckily, we are not real alcohol drinkers, so the alcohol ban didn't impact on us too badly. And our lives have been quite going smoothly, actually, apart from being aware of everything that's going on. Our country is a country with high poverty rates, and it's actually shocking and very saddening, and that is what upsets us most, to see every day in the papers people that have to queue to get food, and people that are not able to just generate their own income so that they can provide for themselves. So in terms of poverty, our country is really hit very hard. So we try to contribute via electronic contributions and so on to people that we know that's close to us, in terms of normally doing work for us, to keep on supporting them and so on. And luckily, we've been fine in terms of, provision. But the other thing that we also try to do to stay sane is that we love watching comedies. So we've got our special little thing of, having a good laugh every day. And we love our music, and we've got some nice pets and cats and a dog that also keep us sane. So to hold on to, knowing that this too shall pass, and we are believers, and we believe that God is protecting and provide for us. So that helps us to cope with everything that we hear and see in the paper every day.
And I must say, a lot of people are starting to take the standpoint that whether or not we find a vaccine, we need to start living again. Whether or not, this passes, we need to, if it doesn't, then learn how to live with it. And we have to carry on because we can't hide in our houses for the rest of our lives. So I think a lot of people feel it's time now to step up to the challenge and face this however we have to.
Yeah, and I've got another daughter who's married, and I think that part, of missing your loved ones and seeing how families are not able to support each other that's getting ill and so on is really difficult. In our country, the police and the army have really taken a very hard stance in some instances, although they're also helping to provide food and water and so on. There's been incidents where, it has really not been good to be aware of how they deal with people and treat people. So I think that is what gets to us, the distancing and what will this do to the future. A generation of children that grow up without having the closeness of a granny and family, growing up are saying the new behavior is distance and no hugging and no sitting on the granny's lap and listening to a story. Those kind of things is what concerns us also for generations to come. I think we all know about that research of the monkeys that they did with the one monkey being loved and the other one not, and the impact that even had on them. So psychologically, I think the impact of this for generations to come is also a concern that we have.
I think because we're very warm people in South Africa. We easily give people hugs or at least a smile and a bit of a quick chat or a how are you doing? And that's difficult. You can see people not even think about it, but still smile through their masks. You can see everybody's turning a smile towards each other, but we're all skipping 1 meter around each other. And, it's just, it feels a lot more isolated than it actually is, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I think the emotion part, that with a mask on, although somebody's eyes can smile, you don't see that smile. And our country is very warm, even if you come back from wherever overseas, you get back to the airport and our people are there to greet you. It's just different. There's a different kind of warmth and always a friendliness and in the facial expression. So to miss all of that or not see it, even when you buy groceries and things like that.
But to see people employing their bodies now, giving a little nod and a hand and, people are trying to get that emotion across still through that barrier.
Yeah. But I think one of the things as a nation in South Africa that we do very well is we use humor to cope. And it's amazing to see, and with no disrespect meant, but even if our president has got his addresses that he gives to us from time to time, within half an hour after that, there's already things going on in terms of social media and things that happen. So I think as a country, we've been actually known to use humor, to cope with things. And I think as a nation, we've also dealt with difficult things in the past. And I have hope that we will come out of this better. We are sure that the world will never be the same. But I also don't think it will be exactly like it's now. So there will be a hybrid, of mixing what we knew from the past and how we are experiencing the current. Because there's definitely advantages. I mean, this connection with you is an advantage I wouldn't have had if we were just working the way that we used to. So we've also got the hope for the future. We don't think we are condemned as a world nation, whatever. And I think things will just be different.
I think there's a lot of generosity springing up. You'd rather give, with your last 2 cigarettes, you'd rather share the one with someone and sit with them as opposed to, keeping them for yourself. There's a lot of, people giving even though they don't have. So I think that's promising. That leads into a line that shows a pattern that we might actually get through this as a compassionate nation. Yeah, I think that's...
Yeah. So in terms of, business and so on, the way that we are both actually adapting the way that we work is to be more online, to Bernice's products. She's trying to put on an online market, and I'm giving sessions that I can coach and counsel online and so on. So we are also adapting to make sure that our work process will cover an online option as well as then a face-to-face in the future. So we won't just rely on doing our business the way that it was.
Yeah. And I think we're also adapting to the world in the sense of sort of products and designs and things that we're offering, that are a bit more focused on the genus loci and what's going on in people's minds. So it is inspirational in some way to see responses. I think we're just hoping that we don't let anyone drive a wedge between us as a people.